Okay, class. So now let's begin with our second session related to classification of industries from the chapter manufacturing industries. In the last class, we have seen how which factors, physical factors, human factors, capital, electricity, market, all these things are contributing to the location of industries. And we have seen that how industrial revolution began in Europe and then from there to all over the world. So now here we are going to see the classification of industries on the basis of raw material, labor, ownership, and source of raw material. So these are the different classification of industries which we are going to see. Okay, that means source of raw material based on their main role. Okay, that means on raw material, and then on capital investment, that then labor, then ownership. All these things are included in the slides. So let's move on. Based on labor. Yeah. So now based on labor, we have further divided the industries into large scale industries and small scale industries. That means where the employees, where the laborers are needed in more number, those industries are known as large scale industries. Okay? And small scale industries run by individuals with less number of people. Okay, they have given an example of Gur and Khansari, that means the related to sugar. So here they are small scale industries. Here only very less number of people are needed. So according to based on labor, we have divided into large scale and small scale. You can see the picture. Next. See, these all are related to large scale industries. Lots of people are needed here in factories. Now next is based on raw material. Heavy industries use heavy and bulky raw materials and produce heavy materials. That is example, iron and steel industries. Those are the industries where high raw materials are needed. Okay. Light industries, for example, iron and steel is given, and light industries means those industries where raw materials are produced in a light way and with light materials, example, electrical fans, watches, sewing machines, etc. That means iron and steel industry is a large scale industry, it's a heavy industry because lots and heavy and bulky raw materials are coming there which are being produced by heavy materials to produce heavy materials, right? And light industries means very light raw materials are needed there, and the work is also, the production is also very light. So that is according to the raw materials. Now based on ownership, we can have public sector is there, private sector is there, joint sector is there, and cooperative sector is there. Now, what is the meaning of private sector? Private sector means those sectors where the industries are owned and operated by individuals or a group of individuals. We name it as private sector. It can be one person, it can be two person, or a group of individuals. And examples are given here. Bajaj Auto and Tata Iron and Steel Industries, Dabur Industries, they all are private sector. Now what is public sector? Public sector means those industries which are owned and operated by government agencies. Here it is not in the hand of one person or two person or group of individuals. It is run by the government, and the examples is given here: Bhilai Steel Plant and Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, and SAIL is there. Like that, BHEL BHEL is there. So these are, that means BHEL means the Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. Okay. So these are some of the public sector examples. Next is joint sector. What is joint sector? Joint sector means the industries which are jointly run by the state and individuals or a group of individuals. Example, Oil India Limited is jointly run by public and private sectors. Maruti Udyog Limited is there. Gas Authority of India is there. Here both individual and the state is there. Both individual and government is there. That's why together we name it as joint sector. Next is cooperative sector. That means industries are owned and operated by the producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers, or both. That is sugar milk and silk milk. That means the producers are there, suppliers of raw materials are there, workers are there, or all of them. Together they are working. It is known as a cooperative sector. Example, sugar mills and silk mills. Okay. Based on source of raw material. Now here again under the source of raw material, which are the two different types of industries, they are agro-based industries and mineral-based industries. Agro-based means that use agricultural raw material, cotton textile industry, sugar industry, silk industry, where everything is directly coming from agriculture. Those industries are known as agro-based industry. And what is mineral-based? That means it's the use of minerals as raw material. Example, iron and steel industry, copper smelting industry, and fertilizer industry. Are you getting me? That means agro-based and mineral-based. By hearing the name itself, we can understand that agro-based means related to agriculture. Mineral-based means related to minerals. Now, agro-based industries. See, cotton textile industries. First cotton textile mill was established in Mumbai in 1854 and it is considered as the largest industry of India and employs 1.5 million persons, that is 20% of industrial labor force of India is working in our cotton textile industry. That means the raw material coming from the agro-based industries, the agriculture, it is given in this industry. From here the cotton textile are made, they are properly defined, they are cleaned, they are polished, and then they are made into a proper cotton where we can use it for clothes, stitching, packing, everything. So cotton textile industry is considered as the largest industry, which is giving 20% of industrial labor force of India as employment. You can see in this picture. 1600 cotton and human-made fiber textile mills are there. 79% in private sector and rest is in public and cooperative societies. 90% of cotton textile produced in decentralized sector. Availability of cotton, market, transportation, humid climate led to localization in Maharashtra and Gujarat. Cotton textile industries are there in Maharashtra and Gujarat more. Why? Because the availability of market, the transportation, the humid climate, everything was taken into consideration. Then only the locations of industries are based. Now, where are they found? They are found in Maharashtra in Mumbai, Sholapur, Pune, Wardha, Nagpur, Aurangabad and Jalgaon. And in Gujarat, it is there in Ahmedabad, Vadodara, Surat, Rajkot and Porbandar. And in West Bengal also you can find some cotton textile industries. They are Howrah, Murshidabad, Hubli and Silampur. UP you can see Kanpur, Murdabad, Agra and Modinagar. Madhya Pradesh, Gwalior, Ujjain, Indore and Dewas. Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore, Madurai and Chennai. These are the places where you can find cotton textile industries in our country. Factors that contributed towards decentralization of cotton textile industry. How has decentralization taken place? Which are the factors that have contributed? Wide market, transport, banking facilities and electricity. These are some of the factors which have contributed towards the decentralization of cotton textile industries. Now there are some burning problems also for cotton textile industries. One is scarcity of good quality cotton, obsolete machinery, erratic power supply, low productivity of labor, stiff competition with synthetic fiber industries. What happened is earlier we had this cotton as our main source material. Okay. So what the thing is, slowly synthetic fiber industry started coming, and people started preferring it. So when people started preferring synthetic materials, it was a stiff competition for our cotton textile industry. And if the labor's productivity is not proper, that is also going to affect and going to add to the problems of cotton textile industry. If we not get proper quality cotton, how can we make proper cotton clothes? That's why these are some of the burning problems which the cotton industries are facing. Main importers of Indian cotton goods. So from here, which are the main importance of Indian cotton goods? From this slide, we will be seeing in the or studying in the next class. Thank you.